This is our committee of the whole meeting for December 9th. We're at 6:30. For those in attendance online, be aware that our meetings are recorded for public viewing and placed on a publicly available website, and also to those in the gallery. So that's my call to order. I will first acknowledge that we are on the unceded First Nations land of the Haudenosaunee territory, and if I could get someone to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Thank you for that, Councillor Janice. Any additions, deletions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That then is carried. We'll adopt the minutes.
Motion to adopt the minutes from the November 12th, 2025 committee of the whole meeting.
Second.
Thank you for that. Any errors or omissions on that one? Thank you, Acting Mayor Deck, for chairing that meeting. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That too then is carried. So business arising from the minute, we're doing a 2026 to 2023 capital plan review. There is a report in with the CAO or in from the CAO. And we do have our capital plan draft in front of us. At the November 12th committee of the whole, most of these projects were kind of prioritized. So is there anything from staff that they wanted to add that wasn't in the same, or that wasn't included at time of release?
Thank you. Yes, one notable is that we just received confirmation that we did not receive the disaster risk innovation funding grant that we were looking for lot 501.
So that's on page 9 of 13, and it's the third bullet down that the lot 501 phase 1 capital works. It was for $1.8 million and change. So the grant wasn't approved at this time. I have a question on that actually. So do we just keep that in the budget and then wait for another opportunity for another grant, if that is the will of council to leave that on there?
That is correct. Thank you, Mayor.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So questions and comments from council? Nothing on the report.
I thought we were ready to move forward on everything.
Okay.
I didn't see anything. There was a lot of information, but I don't see anything that is missing.
Is there, does Stefan lead us through any of this or no? We're good. This is just a ratification essentially.
That's correct.
Okay, for discussion.
Something to add to. Just for the SCADA too, I was somewhat making a guess on the last meeting about the cost of SCADA. I did receive some quotes back, and it was grossly underestimated. It would double that, not 25,000, but more like $50,000 to do a full replacement of the SCADA system.
Is that on the newly identified items or on the items moved to a different year? Or it's just on the master plan, on the capital plan?
Yeah, 2026.
Okay.
SCADA.
2026?
Yeah.
So that's this coming year, and it wasn't 25, it will be 50. Let's say council to that. And that's out of our gas tax reserve. Oh, where am I? Sorry, I can't see with my glasses on. Yeah, that's out of the gas tax reserve. Is there room for a $50,000 limit or projection out of that gas tax reserve?
I think I'll have to defer to our deputy finance officer.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, short answer is yes. There's quite a bit in the gas tax reserve. At the January committee of the whole meeting, we'll delve into the source of funding for these projects, and you'll see a very clear picture of what it would look like. And at that point in time, council will have the opportunity to kind of shift the funding sources if that's something to be desired.
Okay, thank you for that. Through to CEO.
Thank you. Just anecdotally, we just finished doing time cards, and over the last 2-week period, it shows that our public work department was 14 days out of 14 days working on the SCADA. So this is something that that we need to seriously look at.
Perfect, absolutely, yeah, and I think that all of council is aware of how much time that takes from Public Works. For sure. I'll just be figuring out where to put that in if we want to take it out of that or something else. Or if we can possibly take it out of something else. So thank you for letting us know that. We'll discuss that in the January, Cal. I did notice a couple of things on here, and there were newly identified items. So in that first kind of paragraph, I'm really concerned about, especially alluding to, thank you for that segue, CAO, that Public Works is spending so much time on the SCADA. And I'm really concerned that we added all of these things for, that we were adding things instead of taking away. I had thought that at the last budget meeting that we had a threshold of, you know, really this is what Public Works can feasibly get in touch, can do, physically do. In that time period of 2025, 2026, and 2027. So I was really shocked to read the report. I unfortunately did not watch the meeting. I just haven't had time to do that. But I did have a conversation with the CAO when I saw that the agenda was produced. And I was wondering if there's anything that we can push out. We've got like a flagpole that we could bump. We've got the village generator roof cover. I'm actually not sure that it's required to have a roof. I do believe that that was when we put it in an emergency preparedness grant. It was an all-weather system. And so there's the water sampling hydrants. There's the post barrier replacement. I'm extremely concerned about Public Works' time. And their actual capacity to do this. I really want to, in this budget, leave realistic expectations for the next council, because this is the last budget that we will essentially do. If we get the next council to come in here and they rate, oh yeah, look, Public Works is great. They can do all of these things with their 2-person party. And, you know, I don't think that that's setting realistic expectations for the next council. We've had this conversation multiple times over the course of my this term, this council, and I think that we're really cutting ourselves short on what Public Works is available and has the hours in the day to do. So on that, I wonder if council would consider making a motion to push out all of those things, to bump the flagpole to 2027, to bump the generator roof cover to 2028, to do the water sampling hydrants in 2026, and to do the Sugarloaf post replacement in 2028. I just am really conscious of where we live, the time that's available, and our staffing limitations. So that would be my motion, would be, or that would be up for discussion with the council here at the table to say, are those things that you would consider? Councillor Lewis.
It was the flagpole, the generator roof, and which other one?
So it was bullet 3, the flagpole.
Yeah.
The office generator roof cover, which was
Yeah.
bullet 4.
Yeah.
Bullet 6, the 3 water sampling hydrants. 501 will be done at a later date anyway, so that one's circled. And then the Sugarloaf Bridge barrier post replacement.
Oh,
Have them all pushed out one more year, just to be a little more realistic with our time and the environment we live in. We all know that regular business is regular business, but as the CAO says, our Public Works foreman is constantly working on the SCADA. There's constantly high water events in the village. We consistently have emergencies. We're going to be doing a lot of training, from what I hear, in the next year for emergency preparedness. I just don't know that we're setting ourselves up for realistic expectations. Councillor Deck.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, I may be wrong, but going over these items, I don't think our public works is actually going to be doing all these things. Are they not going to get some outside contractors to do some of these?
That's
I'm sure,
Dale.
I'm sure they're not going to take on all these jobs themselves.
That's a question.
Anyway, that's my understanding.
For sure, I'll push that on to staff.
Thank you. Yes, some of it could be dealt out to contractors. However, no matter how many contractors we have hired to do different work, it all gets funneled back to either the department head or myself to either manage an RFP, do project management, and then our finance department for check issuance and then again, if it's a public works job, quality control and you know, project management, which would oversee the final product. So they still do require time, not as much if a contractor is doing it, but there is still a time requirement.
And also finding the contractors to come in and do these projects is always multiple phone calls. Can you get someone to come in here? Can you get someone to put in a bid? Can you, right? So those are all kind of uncertainties and yeah. Yeah, considerations. Councillor Lewis?
I'm just wondering if any of them are ones that Public Works might consider vital or necessary.
So through them to either the CAO or Public Works, which ones are the absolute most timely of them? And then I'll get to you again, Councillor Deck.
Out of like the whole, out of the whole list, or out of just what you have
Ones that
chosen? Which ones are the most timely and the most concerning? I would love to see some new water sampling hydrants, just. It's kind of an easy buy, just purchasing them and installing them is fairly easy, just so we have a cleaner process of taking samples. Sorry, what were some other ones you named?
So the third bullet down, the flagpole.
Yeah,
The fourth was the village office generator roof cover. The sixth was the 3 water sampling hydrants. And then the last on the next page, on page 9, was the barrier post replacement.
tough decision. I do agree with you. I think all of those ones that you have chosen are things that can get pushed off into 2027. I don't think they're a high priority, or there's no health and safety risk or anything like that with one of these ones that you're naming, but I think the top priority one on that one is to get, I would love to see some hydrants.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Deck.
Yeah, thank you. Now, on this list, there's grants to be determined. They're not definite jobs that are going to get done unless we get the grant, right?
That you're correct, the ones that are marked grant to be determined. And then, and I will add to that as well, that's also staff and public work, CAO, Public Works and Finance researching and trying to find grants that fit with these niches.
Well, I guess I have a lot more faith in Public Works than other people, but I'm all for pushing some of these to 2027.
My actual ask was to push them all out a year. So the ones that say 2027 to be pushed out to 2028, and the ones that say 2026 to get pushed out to 2027. And my faith in Public Works is unbelievably not wavering. I just want to be super realistic with the next council that comes in here, that with all of the day-to-day things, these are would love to haves, but they're not, as Public Works foreman said, keen to the health and safety, they are items that they can, they're in the back of our minds that there is a grant for this because we have discussed it at a public meeting. So if something comes across their desk, that's one thing, but they're not actively searching for those things to get completed in those years. Anything else from anyone? This is all just for discussion at the January meeting. So could we give that staff direction to do that, to move all of these items out 1 year? Or are we happy with the way it is? Councillor Deck.
Yes, I'm happy to move a lot of these a year down the road. Better to be safe than sorry, I guess.
Let's say,
All of them except for the water sampling hydrants.
you want that to stay in 2026?
Yeah.
How is that with council?
Fine with me.
Okay. So we'll discuss that on the January meeting. Is that enough to council or to staff, or would you like a resolution? So I'll make the resolution to move items 3. Can you do it by bullet points?
Yes,
Yeah, so items in the capital plan review, November 9th, bullet 3, 4. And the last one, Sugarloaf Bridge, all out 1 year. So that makes flagpole 2027, village office generator roof cover 2028, and Sugarloaf Bridge 2028. That was a motion. If anybody wants to
I
second.
can second that, sorry.
Oh, thanks.
Second,
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of other new ones on here that are great and that are needed, and I know that it's all kind of funding to be determined, but I just see too much of a workload. So that's why I did that. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. And then the recommendation is just to review this. So is that all that you need for that all other items recommended? Do you need a resolution that says all other items recommended stay the same as per this report, or nothing like that? Okay, perfect. Just having the discussion. Other questions or comments from council? We did that pretty good. We got 10 minutes till our next meeting. So what's next on the agenda? No delegations, no correspondence, no reports. And there's nothing else you need from us then, staff, on this one? I would take a
Motion to adjourn?
second,
perfect. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We're done at 6:49. We'll